Hey guys, CryptoDad here again. Thanks for joining me on the Saturday night live stream. Live from Michigan, where you can throw out questions and I'll do my best to get them answered. We'll talk about Bitcoin, we'll talk about the news, we'll talk about altcoins. I'm going to move some crypto around for you guys, and as always, I'll do my very best to get to your questions and see if we can't troubleshoot your problems here live. Well, welcome everybody. Nice to have you here on a Saturday night. There's been quite a bit of volatility in the crypto market over the last week or so, so I'm going to cover that in the news. A lot of interesting stories that have to do with adoption and financial regulations that seem to be plugging their way along through our glorious Congress. I believe the bill is in the Senate at this point. So we're going to cover all that news. We've got a lot of news stories to cover tonight, so I want to get to that. And then we'll just do some Q&A, and I've got some cool wallets that I'm going to do some unboxing and setups for in the near future. I want to share that information with you. And so let's go ahead and jump in and greet everyone that's here. Hopefully the mic is working good and everybody can hear me loud and clear. It's a beautiful day here in West Michigan. And let's see, Drew is here. Kenny Wiedner was here early. Simon is here. Mr. Miskey W. Let's see, Simon is here. That's good to have you. Dustin and Shadow. Treb3, Dan the Man Westra, our moderator. Good to have Dan here. Let's see, Gregory Wheeland is here. Eric Nichols, Hans Hannah 350, Roland Kane. Always good to have you here, Roland. 8F from Stockholm, Sweden. Wow, that's cool. I was going to say that's where the wallet's from. The wallet I got tonight is from Switzerland, not Sweden. You know, us dumb Americans always get those countries confused because they both start with the letter S. Pearls of Wisdom is here. HB from Australia. Ann Cortez, welcome. I believe I've never seen you here before, but you might have been here and I missed you. But good to have you. Crypto Otis from the great state of Arkansas. I was raised in Texas, so I know of Arkansas. We've driven through it many times because I was born in Fort Wayne, Indiana. So we had many holiday trips between Texas and Fort Wayne. Let's see, Ron is here. That's awesome. You can watch us live. That's great. Good to have you here, Ron. AK Ram Tech from Alaska. Awesome. Fred McIntyre, Kenneth Weed, King Jaqueen from Mid-Michigan. That's pretty awesome. And Eden from Canada. Awesome. Let's talk about, let's do a little housekeeping. If you've never been in the live stream before, we've got a bunch of great stuff here in the description. I did want to point out these two sales. We've got the Ledger back to school sale where they're giving away Bitcoin, and you can get these deals directly on my landing page. So I've got a link to my landing page there. Ledger Flex, Ledger Stack, $70 Bitcoin rebate, $80, $50 on Ledger Nano X. Thank you, Doug, for that subscription. The Ledger Nano S Plus. They're only giving $10 worth of Bitcoin because they've permanently lowered the price down from $79 to $59. So great entry-level price. That's still cheaper than what it was on the upgrade program, which gave you, with that 20% discount, you were getting $63.20. Well, now they just said, screw it. We'll just lower the price. The Ledger Nano S Plus is their entry-level model, so it's cool. Also, Tangem is having their Labor Day sale. It's still on. This is the last day for it, and you can get a double discount when you use CryptoDad and Labor Day at checkout. But the link that I put in the description will automatically apply both codes. So that's cool. We're going to talk about the news. This is the overview of the news for the bot crawlers. We're going to go into it in person here. AI told me AI is creepy. Kenny was asking if this was an AI generated photo of me or if it was real, and it's real. I've been using real photos for the last couple of months because I do coordinate a lot of my housekeeping with AI, like my descriptions and stuff. And they told me that if you, like, I was thinking of some of the Photoshop effects of skin smoothing, and it said, don't smooth your skin too much because if it looks unreal, it might turn off people and it might lose weight in algorithms for being AI. So I'm kind of moving away from the AI image generating stuff. That was fun. But yeah, we're going to talk about all these things here. HD, I ran out of HD space when I was recording the other day. That wasn't very fun. My latest videos. I did this one, Myths That Will Lose You Crypto, kind of a top 3 of things that people get wrong about how hardware wallets work and how it can actually lead to loss. So you might want to check out that video. Also, I did a Tangent video on their new security updates in the app. That's a good video. You might want to check that one out. And oh yeah, we're going to talk about, we're going to mention whether the Bitcoin bull cycle is over, whether Bitcoin is still following that 4-year pattern, which is based on the halving events, which roughly occur every 4 years. Is 2025 the top or not? That was just the news that we did from last week. So it's just a shortened version of last week's live stream. All right, and I want to thank everyone that's here. P. Wizzle is here. Gary B. from the UK. Rinsler, did you see my comment on your other video about making a video on XMR and Cosmos in Trezor Suite? No, I'm sorry, Rinsler, I did not see that. I try to follow my comments pretty close. We can poke around. I believe that Trezor Suite does support XMR now. I don't know about Cosmos. I'm not sure that Trezor Suite supports Cosmos. We'll do that. Why do people make a big deal about not using 12 words and using 24? Super hard to guess 12 anyways, especially with a passphrase. Yeah, I mean, with a passphrase, all bets are off. But yeah, that is, well, it's human nature. A 12-word seed phrase is astronomically difficult to, brute force crack. I mean, on the order of thousands or hundreds of thousands of years. And so, 24 words is double that. But, your lifespan is 100 years. So I think 100,000 years is sufficient. But yeah, people think, well, 24 is bigger than 12, so I want to use 24. But a 12-word phrase is good because it lends itself better to memorization. Now, if you're going to memorize your seed phrase, you want to make sure you know exactly what you're doing and have a really good memory. Don't just hey, I think I got this thing down, and then throw away all your written copies. It's not good practice. The best practice for a seed phrase, which is the backup of a hardware wallet, is write it down in one place and store it in a secure location. Don't try to get fancy. Don't try to scramble it. If you want to memorize it, that's, be careful with that. And that's actually the video I covered that. The obsession people have with security when it comes to hardware wallets. It can trip you up in the wallets that you choose and the way you store your seed phrase. So you might want to check out that video. Let's jump into the news. I got a lot of stories to cover tonight. Let's see. I think we're on the first one here. Bitcoin ignores major U.S. payrolls miss to erase 113.4K surge. Well, yeah, Bitcoin was up around 113.4. I forget when exactly that was. That might have been early on Friday morning or late Thursday. I'm not sure. But yeah, the jobs report came out lower than expected, which was kind of, bad news is good news. A bad jobs report raised the odds of the Fed lowering interest rates in September. That's this month. They'll officially announce it on the 17th. They do their little powwow from the 16th and 17th, and then they'll come out and say, hey, we're going to we're going to lower it 25 basis points or 50 basis points. The low payrolls, or the lower than expected payrolls raise the odds of them lowering rates for sure. Even speculation that instead of 25 basis points, it's going to be 50. There are some people out there predicting 100 basis points, but I don't hold much stock in that. Oh, Kitty's here. Okay, Kitty. Let's see. We got this camera working. Kitty's here. I was looking for Kitty. He was outside. I thought he was outside. Maybe Mommy let him back in. I don't know, and you guys can't hear me. But Kitty's back. I think maybe he was sleeping. I think he was sleeping earlier, probably in Christabel's room. All right, you go do that and let Daddy get on with the live stream. All right. All right, so where were we? Yeah, we were talking about Bitcoin's volatility. Well, the bad jobs report was supposed to be great news for lowering of rates and risk assets. Lowering of interest rates would help risk assets, which Bitcoin is still, even though some people think of it more as I can't remember the word for it. Like gold. Yeah, it's like one of those. But Bitcoin did go down. Now, I don't know if it was directly related to that. I mean, it should have gone up, conceivably, probably kept going. But maybe that jump up to 113 was an anticipatory run up, and then the news broke, and then there was a bit of a sell-off, or it was just normal market fluctuations, chart fluctuations as we see. But yeah, Bitcoin disappoints with jobs data. Price action gives up all its gains, while gold goes on to hit another all-time high. Gold's been crazy this week. Dan's been posting gold charts in our text chat, our group text chat last few days, and gold and silver are going crazy. So if Bitcoin starts operating like, God dog it, what is the term for that? Okay. Okay. Oh, someone just asked me a question about quantum computers. I just posted a reply. Quantum computers are very hyped. But they don't really do anything useful at this point. They have applications, but because of the way they operate, it's quantum. So if you put in, a calculation and you get an answer on a regular computer, that same input will always give you the same output, whereas a quantum computer is always going to spit out something different, or a large amount of possible answers, which you then have to interpret in other ways, like Shor's algorithm. You run that back through another quantum computer. But there's a lot of excitement around quantum computers, but they are not really viable at this time. They operate using qubits, which are very unstable. They have to be kept in sub-zero temperatures in order to operate. If you want to crack Bitcoin's cryptography you would need something on the order of 20,000 to 50,000 qubits, and right now even IBM's biggest quantum computer is only on the order of like between 1,000 and 2,000 qubits. And there are some out there that say as you get more qubits, they're much harder to keep stable, and even if you can keep them all at sub-zero temperatures and not have them interfere with each other, it's theoretically impossible to really use enough qubits to do anything useful. So a lot of controversy. That's the big thing. Quantum computers are going to destroy modern cryptography, but it's a lot of hype. I don't have that video handy. Maybe I can put it in well, I'm not going to mess around with it right now. We got so much news to cover. So anyway, let's talk about Ethereum. Drew was in early asking about Ethereum. Now, this is an article about the Ethereum ETF outflows. U.S.-based spot Ether exchange-traded funds have posted 4 consecutive days of net outflows during the shortened trading week due to U.S. Labor Day. The week of outflows comes strong after a strong August spot for Ether ETFs, which recorded $3.87 billion in net inflows, while Bitcoin ETFs posted $751 million in outflows for the month, according to Farside. Friday alone saw Ether ETFs shed $446.8 million, bringing total net outflows over the 4 days to $787.6 million. Meanwhile, Bitcoin recorded $250.3 million in net inflows during the same period. Kind of the opposite of what we were seeing a couple weeks ago, where Bitcoin was recording outflows and Ethereum was recording inflows. So traders are eyeing the ETH inflows. Of course, we're talking here about Ethereum ETFs, exchange-traded funds, and that's not really direct spot market Ethereum pricing or markets. But overall, Ethereum predictions remain high despite recent outflows. Ether advocates remain bullish. On Wednesday, BitMine chairman Tom Lee reaffirmed his prediction that ETH will reach 60,000 in the long term on the Medici Presents Level Up podcast. Lee said Wall Street's interest in ETH might become a 1971 moment, which could propel the asset higher. Of course, 1971 was the year that Nixon took the U.S. off the gold standard, and now U.S. dollars are basically just based on the true faith in and trust in the U.S. government and a little bit of oil. They made a deal with oil, but that's starting to fall apart too. The multipolar world is coming into play here. There was a big meeting in China this week. All of the Eurasian countries were there. China, Russia, and India, their presidents were all in China for this big celebration, and they're talking about doing their own settlements of in yuan, digital yuan, and trading oil between each other. So the petrodollar is on its way out. So anyway, we were talking about 71 here. That was an explosion in the price of gold. I think before he did that in 1971, gold was like pegged at $35. Well, I may be wrong about $35 an ounce may have been the Depression era price. But I can't remember. But anyway, the price of gold has exploded since then, and the gold ETF up to that point was the biggest ETF ever. And then Bitcoin came along with the Bitcoin ETF and overshadowed gold. But here we are. Gold is now taken off to new highs. We're talking about Ethereum, though, here. BitMine, the largest Ether treasury company, holds approximately $8.04 billion in Ethereum, according to Strategic ETH Reserve data. Overall, Ether treasury companies now hold 2.97% of the total supply, valued at $15.49 billion at the time of publication. So Tom Lee, I hate to disappoint you, Drew, but Tom Lee's prediction for Ethereum is, of course, going to be bullish. His company is one of the largest Ethereum treasury companies. That's kind of like asking Michael Saylor if he thinks the price of Bitcoin is going to go up, right? But anyway, I did want to do one little story on Ethereum there. And now this story here, I referred to this earlier when we were talking about my previous video and the news last week about whether or not Bitcoin is peaking here in 2025 based on the 4-year cycle. Bitcoin analyst Plan C says there is no reason for Bitcoin to reach a cycle high this year except for a psychological self-fulfilling prophecy. Well, markets are mostly psychological, so we'll see about that. But his analysis says anyone who thinks Bitcoin has to peak in Q4 of this year does not understand statistics or probability. From a statistical and probability standpoint, it's equivalent to flipping a coin and getting tails 3 times in a row, then betting all your money on that fourth flip that it must be tails. Plan C said, explaining that relying on 3 previous halving cycles doesn't provide enough statistically significant data. No fundamental reason for Bitcoin to peak in Q4. So he's throwing out. The analyst also argued that the halving cycle is no longer relevant to Bitcoin following recent debate in the industry over its relevance, especially with the rise of Bitcoin treasury companies and significant inflows into US-based spot Bitcoin ETFs. Well, there you have it. Another analysis of the Bitcoin bull cycle saying it could be. There's no reason to think it has to be over in 2025 based on the 4-year cycle, which he's saying no longer holds. All right. I did want to bring this up. Major giants, banking giants now forecast at least 2 interest rate cuts in 2025. Interest rate cuts are a bullish catalyst for crypto prices as investors increase their risk appetite during times of credit expansion. Several financial institutions and market analysts are now projecting the U.S. Federal Reserve, the country's central bank, will slash interest rates from the current target of 4.25 through 4.5% at least twice in 2025. The banking forecast followed a weak August jobs report, as we talked about earlier, which saw only 22,000 jobs added for the month versus expectations of about 75,000. Analysts at Bank of America, a banking financial service company, reversed their long-held stance of no rate cuts in 2025 and are now projecting 2 basis points, 2 25 basis point cuts, one in September and another in December. So yeah, that's a fairly conservative estimate. As I mentioned, there are people predicting 50 basis points this month, and some even speculating at 100 basis points. I doubt that. And then maybe another one in December. So we could see 75 basis points before the end of the year. Economists at investing banking firm Goldman Sachs are projecting 3 to 25 basis points cuts in 2025, September, October, and November. So the chances have run up, even with the stuffy conservative bankers. And then I did want to give you an update on the crypto bill that's slowly making its way through the House and Senate. I believe we're in the Senate right now, going back and forth. The Senate has added a provision in its crypto bill confirming that tokenized stocks remain securities, preserving their fit within existing financial frameworks. What that means is that there are a lot of blockchain firms out there that are in the business of tokenizing stocks. And so they want to take a stock and put it on the blockchain and allow people to trade it on the blockchain. But they want to ensure that that price is pegged directly to the stock price as well. And so those assets should be treated as securities since they directly represent stocks, even though they're on the blockchain. The new clause would ensure that stocks and other securities remain classified as securities when tokenized on a blockchain, avoiding potential confusion over whether they should fall under a commodities regulation. The distinction is important for digital asset firms working on tokenization. We want to see this on the president's desk before the end of the year. Wyoming Senator Cynthia Lummis, a lead sponsor of the legislation, said in an interview with CNBC. The Senate's bill, dubbed the Responsible Financial Innovation Act of 2025, clarifies when digital assets should be overseen by the Securities and Exchange Commission versus the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. They talked a little bit in here about there have been efforts to pair While the draft has yet to win Democratic backing, Loomis said bipartisan negotiations are in progress. There have been efforts to pair Democrats and Republicans on certain sub-issues within the bill, she noted, hoping to build a cross-party momentum. So long story short, the Democrats and the Republicans have not yet come to terms on this bill. They're going to need to in order to get this thing passed. In stablecoin news, Stripe and Paradigm, in conjunction with each other, have unveiled Tempo as blockchain race for high-speed stablecoin payments heats up. The chain's stable-first design aims to handle global payouts, microtransactions, remittances, and AI agentic payments, Stripe CEO Patrick Colson said. Stripe and Paradigm unveiled Tempo, their joint blockchain designed for high-throughput payments. That's already in private test mode. Visa, Deutsche Bank, Shopify, Nubank, OpenAI, and Revolt are among companies participating in the design. Tempo joins a growing roster of stablecoin-focused blockchains competing to disrupt cross-border payment flows. And if you don't know what Stripe is that company that allows people to accept payments on their phone through Apple Pay. You know, when you're out there, today I was at the farmer's market and used my phone to buy some fresh fruit. So Stripe is big. And so Stripe getting into the stablecoin game is a big thing. And then I've got all these stories linked down below. I've got this other story about the Stripe stablecoin partnership when this also brings up Fireblocks. I think I heard about Fireblocks on the at the Solana Accelerate in New York earlier this year. I believe that's a Solana protocol. I could be completely off on that. But we've got blockchain infrastructure provider Fireblocks announced a global stablecoin payment network focused on compliance and connectivity, along with Tempo, as we mentioned earlier. You might want to check all these out. Let's see. Oh, this is kind of an interesting story. Venus Protocol recovers users 13.5 million stolen in a phishing attack. Victim Quan Sun praised Venus and partners after they were able to recover 13.5 million, calling it a battle we actually won through joint efforts. So let's see. I wanted to get into the heart of this. Yeah, here we go. The attackers revealed. Venus revealed that the attackers used a malicious Zoom client to trick the victim into granting delegated control over the account. This allowed the perpetrators to borrow and redeem on the victim's behalf, enabling them to drain millions in stablecoins and wrapped assets. The protocol's security partners, HEXAT and Hypernative, flagged the suspicious transaction within minutes, leading to the decision to pause the protocol. According to Venus, the recovery process unfolded in less than 12 hours. Quan Sun thanked the teams behind the recovery. What could have been a total disaster turned into a battle we actually won, thanks to an incredible group of teams. Now, this is another interesting story. I think I talked about this in my Tangent video. There's a lot of security firms, Blockade being, whoops, let's spell it right. Well, it doesn't have a space there. Yeah, Blockade is a company that is doing on-chain security. And then those security firms we mentioned in the article just now that are detecting malicious transactions. Now, blockchain does front runs transactions and warns users before they approve transactions. And Blockade is being built into a lot of hardware wallet protocols like Tangent, Ledger. I know those two for sure. There are a couple other hardware wallets out there. There's I saw an article, or I watched a video today from CoinGecko where they talked about the difference between a hardware wallet and a cold wallet. I usually use those terms interchangeably, but they said the difference is basically how you use the wallet, whether or not you connect it to DeFi. A cold wallet would be you're only using it to store crypto and make occasional transfers, and you never interact with DeFi, whereas a hardware wallet can interact with DeFi. But more and more people are using their hardware wallets to interact with DeFi, and the security is getting much better. So we're going to be seeing more and more of this as time goes on. Let's see here. Also, Tether is investing in gold. Tether has accumulated $8.7 billion in physical gold and has a gold-backed cryptocurrency with a $1.4 billion market cap. Stablecoin issuer Tether, the creator of US dollar Tether, has begun discussions with mining and investment groups about deploying capital across the gold supply chain, according to the Financial Times. The move would further diversify Tether's portfolio risk. Tether issues their stablecoin into the system, but they have to back it with real assets like Bitcoin, U.S. Treasuries, and now gold. Tether has been exploring deploying capital across several sectors in the gold business, including gold mining, refining, trading, and royalty companies. The company has accumulated $8.7 billion worth of physical gold, which it has stored in a vault in Zurich, Switzerland. The reserves back Tether Gold, XAUT, interesting, the firm's gold peg stablecoin with a market capitalization of about 1.4 billion. What else we got? I got a bunch of stuff for you guys tonight. Last one. Oh yeah, NASDAQ approves Sol Strategies list for next week. Sol Strategies is one of the largest Sol treasury companies. On Friday, Sol Strategies said it would be listing common shares on the NASDAQ Global Select Market starting on September 9th under the ticker symbol STKE. The listing will end of the company's shares trading. The listing will end of the company's shares trading on the over-the-counter venture market while maintaining trading activity on the Canadian Securities Exchange. This listing provides our shareholders with enhanced liquidity while giving us access to deeper capital markets as we continue scaling our validator operations and expanding our ecosystem investments. So Sol Strategies is kind of a company that helps people stake their Sol because Sol is a stakeable cryptocurrency. We're talking about Solana here, if you don't know. Let me get caught up here, and then I want to share a few things with you guys. Good to have everybody here. How do you move XDC from your Uphold wallet onto your Ledger Flex or your iPhone? Very carefully. I don't know that Ledger Flex really supports XDC. There are ways to do it, but it's not really supported in Ledger Live. You would have to use some third-party wallets. Look at this. The sun came out. Check this out. Look at that sunshine. Well, you can't really tell the difference out there. But the sun just it's been cloudy all day, and the sun just came out, and it's really bright out there. Interesting. Let's see here. Let's get back to this. So we're just talking about XDC. It's always been problematic. You might do better just holding it on an exchange. I used my ledger with mycrypto.com to move some XDC onto my ledger, and it looked successful. It was there, and then a couple of months later, it wasn't there anymore. So that was the day I threw up my hands and said, screw XDC. I'm not going to play with it anymore. And I believe that Uphold only supports Ethereum type withdrawals of XDC. So it's going to convert it to some, it might just spit it out as Ethereum. So I can't give you a definitive answer on that. It's always been problematic, and I've tried playing around with it for a while. It's getting a lot more traction now than it was a few years back. There may be some better ways to manage XDC. I would probably say in your own an XDC specialized wallet, and probably connected to a hardware device. It's been a while since I played with it, but I know that trying to withdraw XDC from Uphold itself can be problematic because they tend to convert it because they won't. I don't believe XDC allows native XDC withdrawals. I could be wrong about that. That's about all I can give you right now. Hoping for nice entry points. ETH, okay. Numbers can lie. Okay, what a basis point? In other words, what does the value represent? Basis point is basically a percentage. So if our interest rates are at 5% and they raise them or lower them by 25 basis points, that basically means it goes from 5% to 5.25%. So like that 0.25 is what they call the basis points. And it's just about whether the percentage of the interest rates go up or down. So yeah, you got to follow all kinds of stuff now to be in crypto. By the way, I changed my name. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Dan explained basis points there. What is Shopify? I can't figure out what they actually do. I get Stripe, but what's Shopify? Shopify is a back end for people that want to employ a web store. So basically, it's an e-commerce platform. So if you've got a website and you want to sell stuff, you can use Shopify to sort of automate all that so that people can go to your website and buy stuff. That's the long and short of it. I know about it because my wife uses it. I used it for a little while. Let's see. Oh, yeah, Dan already answered that too. All right. So, yeah. Okay. B Wise says he tried Bitfrost wallet. So that might be, that might work. I don't have Bitfrost. Let's go. Oh, I didn't put the R in there. Oops. Yeah, so that might be a solution. And it looks like it's a phone only, so you might not be able to use that with your hardware device. That's not a deal breaker, but I always try to find a wallet that I can use with my hardware device. I like it better. Yeah, so let's see. I wanted to show you this stuff here. Let's go over here. Yeah, I'm wearing shorts and a dress shirt. I wanted to show you these plums that I bought at the farmer's market. These are just gorgeous, man. I love these two-tone. Last week, I was at their stall, and I saw these, and I thought they looked good, but I ended up buying like a mixture. They have like 7 different kinds of Michigan plums. And I tried a mixture, and I like these the best. So today I bought a whole pint of these, or a quart, or whatever it was. And they are not quite ready yet. Maybe tomorrow they'll be really sweet, but awesome things. So I am going to do another Trezor unboxing and setup. I'm going to compare Trezor to Ledger. A lot of people like comparison videos. The Trezor Safe 5 is touchscreen. It's the latest model of the Trezor. It does employ a secure element chip. And there's been, well, mostly on my channel, because I'm an outlier, and I'm always arguing against these know-it-alls that come in and claim that Ledger's not open source, so it has a backdoor. That's it's a standard narrative, but unfortunately, it's not really accurate because any wallet that employs a secure element chip, including Trezor, is not fully open source in the full sense of the word. The software that runs is open source. Ledger claims to be 95% open source. There are a lot of wallet companies out there that say they throw around the term open source, but they But then they also say they use a secure element chip that has an EAL6 Plus certification, which basically means that it has proprietary code that runs on it that you can't see, and so there is an element of trust. There are very few wallets out there that are pure open source. There are a few. I think Blockstream Jade claims to be pure open source, but it uses this weird virtual secure element chip, and I don't think they use a a traditional backup phrase. And they are also a Bitcoin only wallet, so they're not that useful for Web3. Maybe if you're just holding Bitcoin, that's one thing. But anyway, I did want to check. I wanted you to check out this wallet. The good people from Sweden sent me this one, the Bitbox Nova Multi Edition, and I'm really excited about it. Let me, we'll switch cameras here and see how this goes. Let me move this camera a little out of the way. Oh, is that going to do it? Yeah. So yeah, you can see me and you can see this. This thing is pretty cool. Here, let's put some. So this is the Bitbox Nova. Now it plugs into the side of your computer. Yeah, it's got a USB connector on it, and it has kind of a touch screen on the top of it. It works left-handed or right-handed, so it's pretty cool. The only thing that I find a little pardon me, a little inconvenient about it is that it's difficult on a desktop because I would have to reach up to the top of my desktop to interact with this thing. But I found a solution. I bought a USB extender cable for my desktop, and that worked out pretty good. So it's like I can plug the cable into my desktop in the back or in the top, and then I can plug this little thing in the end of that cable because it's a USB-C connector at the end. Now, the reason I was talking about open source is because Bitbox O2 Nova has a big commitment to open source, and they have a lot of features. Their internal chip has open source firmware. Not only is the firmware open source and verifiable, but it can also, on their GitHub site, you can actually compile and run their firmware, which is a confirmation that the firmware that is running on the device is the same firmware you're seeing on GitHub. So they have a big commitment to open source, and they have an NDA-free secure element chip. That just means that they don't have to sign an NDA with the secure element chip. But I asked them some questions. I don't know if that means that they can actually share the code on the secure element chip publicly. It does mean that they can publicly challenge or point out any security vulnerabilities that they may find. So we're going on a deep rabbit hole on open source and secure element chips. But yeah, they sent me this personal thank you. They also sent me a big thank you for ordering this thing. Pretty cool. And then a little bit of, I'm not sure who will take this. It's probably just commemorative, but it's pretty cool. And then they have a lot of solutions for storing your backup phrase. Now, I believe they include an SD card, and you can back up the device on the SD card. And I'm assuming that it's going to be encrypted on the SD card, and you can do quick restores using the SD card. Very similar to the Ledger recovery key or the One Key Lite, which is also a recovery card that works with the One Key wallets. And this also brings up an issue that was also really big when Ledger announced their recovery service, which allows a user to use a subscription service to back up their private key online. And a lot of people were claiming that not only was this a bad idea, governments could get your your key or force Ledger to reveal it, which is false. It is all open source the way it's done. They split up the key. It's cryptography. But they were also saying that it violated the principles of hardware wallets and Ledger's claims that the private key never leaves the device. And there was a whole big hubbub. There were all these big know-it-alls in Reddit and in my comments claiming that, Ledger is now allowing the key to be extrapolated or exfoliated or whatever their term was that made it sound so sophisticated. But basically they're just saying, hey, the key should never leave the device. Well, that's false. There are a lot of modern cryptography protocols that modern hardware wallets can use for helping you back up the seed phrase besides just writing it down. And like Ledger has the recovery key. I don't have one laying around here at the moment, but it will, well, I do. Sorry about that. Yeah, this is a Ledger recovery key. I have some videos on how you use this thing, but you can back up your Ledger using this. I don't have a one key light handy, but they are both ways that you can export the private key to a storage medium. So that is the private key leaving the device and moving somewhere else digitally. Right? We've always been able to do it by looking at the seed phrase as presented on the device and writing it down. But that is tedious and error prone. And so companies are coming up with better ways to do this. And so they are exporting that private key. It is not a violation of hardware wallet principles. It's an innovation in the way hardware wallets do their backups. We moved from desktop-based desktop-based crypto wallets to paper wallets, which had their uses, but they are now obsolete. Please don't fall for this paper wallet thing. Paper wallets are they were useful in their day, but since hardware wallets have come out and BIP39 seed phrases have come out, the reason to have a paper wallet has basically been obliterated. A paper wallet is not very versatile. It only backs up one key. It can, be lost or, destroyed. It's not very stable. And a lot of people have difficulty sweeping those private keys back into an online wallet to get access. So paper wallets are obsolete. So now we have digital wallets. This thing's made of cardboard, and it can store the private key of your hardware device and allow you, and it's encrypted, it's pin protected. And so we've got the one key light, and Bitbox will allow you to back up your seed phrase or your private key, whichever you want, how they consider it. They're basically logically equivalent onto a micro SD card that is also pin protected. They also have their backup card, which I think is very similar to the recovery key. They have a steel wallet, which is steel medium. I've talked a lot about steel medium. Let's go over here real quick. Stampseed, these guys are great. I really love Stampseed because it's a one-to-one storage of your seed phrase. You actually are using this little metal stamp to actually write the words onto the frame. Now, a lot of people, what if somebody finds this or whatever? Yeah, everybody's just so friggin' paranoid when it comes to crypto. As I said, write it down in one place, store it in a secure location. That is the end all be all of security. Cavemen were like, hey, I got to hide my pretty seashells under a rock where none of the other cavemen see me. That is, security, since time immemorial. So use that same, thousands of years of human evolution and store your seed phrase in a secure location. Don't try to scramble it up or do something. Yeah. So yeah, this is a great product. I've got a link for Stampseed down in the description. So where were we? We're over here. Yeah, so I'm really excited about the Bitcoin Bitbox Nova. It also comes in tamper-proof packaging. So it's a really awesome, very high-end hardware wallet, which I look forward to doing a video on that. They even gave me this reviewer's guide that goes over all the features. I thought this was really cool. It's very seldom that you get printed material. I don't know that they would give you this if you just bought it. This may just be because I'm doing a review. But yeah, oh, another thing that's really cool about this thing is that, where is it? They have some pictures of it. This thing will work. Come on, baby. Where is this thing? There's a great picture in here if I can find it. Yeah, here. It will work in your laptop, on your tablet, and in your phone. And it's iPhone and Android compatible. So this little thing is really versatile. I believe they have a Bitcoin-only firmware. But they also have multi-coin firmware, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna play around with this week. It's gonna be pretty cool. Yeah, so I think I got all that. Let's go back to the agenda and see if there's anybody. Innovation and ease of use. Just look at the great strides crypto has made in the last 8 years. Well spoken, Kenny. I appreciate that. We've been getting real organic watermelon as well. Wow, awesome. Yeah. Oh, yeah, the farmer's market has all kinds of great stuff right now. Michigan peaches, plums. We bought some fresh blueberries. I didn't bring the blueberries down. Still awesome tomato. We're coming into, the heat of apple season. Apples are big in the fall. A lot of great apples grow in Michigan. Cherry season was in July. Yeah, so we love the farmer's market. Let's see. Oh, I ran out of hard disk space. I think it was the when I was recording this video here. I think it was this one. Yeah, I was recording this video, and I'm just cruising along, and then all of a sudden I was almost done, and then I got a message from my recording software that said, you ran out of space. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me? I ran out of space? Well, if you look at my PC, I've got, let's see. Oh, this is only a 2 terabytes. Yeah, I wanted to replace my my D drive with a 2 terabyte, and now I really want to do it. And then I also have a 2 terabyte. I have two 2 terabyte hard drives as backups for my C drive. Notice I got all kinds of room on my C drive. But when I'm recording videos, I like to drop the raw content onto D drive, and you can see there's quite a bit of space on it now, but I've been like not paying attention to my hard drive space and was just recording away, and all of a sudden I ran out of hard drive space, and the video file was unusable. I wasn't able to open it because I had run out of space. So I cleaned off some space of my hard drive, and then redid the video, and I was almost done, or I think I finished, and then I looked and realized that I had forgot to hit record, and so I had just done like 20 minutes of video without recording anything. So had to start over again, and then finally got the video done. Recording video is not always streamlined and seamless here in the CryptoDad household. You can run into all kinds of problems, technical issues when you're recording that'll just drag you down. But I did get the video done finally, and it turned out to be a pretty decent video. Let's see, as far as views go. Let's see what else we got here. Where's my... Oh, how are we... What have I done? Oh, I'm on the wrong video. No wonder. Okay, here we are. Let's see. I told you guys about the AI images. I did this picture today. Oh, and also, basically, I have this new Canon camera the wherever it went. Oh, I moved it. The EOS 50. What is it? S50, I think it's called. And as I had talked about, I didn't get any frame drops today because I'm recording with that camera with an HDMI cable to the back of my computer to a capture for a 4K capture card. But even though the camera is 4K, it won't give me clean HDMI 4K output from an HDMI cable. It only gives me 1080p or HD. But I have been using the camera itself in video mode at 4K to do some of my captures for my thumbnails. So the pictures that I put on my thumbnails of me are usually 4K, but that one I just kind of did quick and dirty and recorded it with the HDMI cable and capture card. So it's not as high res as I would have liked. But yeah, I believe this picture right here, I really like this picture, and I took that with the camera in 4K. So that's a really nice picture. Let's see, where are we at here? We're still talking about stuff. Just going through. I don't see any burning questions. Ledger back to school. BTC boost sale. We talk about that. Some new unboxes. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Okay, yeah. Let's. We got to move this camera back. See if I can do this. Now it might not end up being lined up properly. That's pretty close. Damn it. Crap. Sorry. Again, an old man can't seem to get his stuff straight. Sorry, guys. I apologize. Thank you for letting me know. Okay. Sorry, guys. Gotta happen once or twice, right? Okay. Anywho. So this is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And this is his stand that goes out and fights for him. It's like part of his being. He can project it when he needs it. And there are countless characters in this anime, Japanese anime. I don't know how much you heard and didn't hear. It's got like 5,000 episodes. My daughter loves to watch it. And so now the family watches it. But the interesting thing was that she told me that there was a soda, a JoJo soda, and we were looking all over for it. We go to Rocket Fizz quite a bit, and Rocket Fizz never had it, but we were in Lansing. We went to Lansing so we could go to Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. My son loves Raising Cane's. Lansing is the closest one. And And we were in Lansing at Raising Cane's, and then afterwards they had a Rocket Fizz, and lo and behold, my daughter found this JoJo's Bizarre Adventure can, and she drank the soda, but I saved the can. I think it's really cool. By the way, Grand Rapids is getting their own Raising Cane's. They're building it right now on 28th Street, not very far from where I live. So it's a perfect world, right? Am I back? Am I back? Yeah, I'm back. How long was I out? Yow. We can hear me. Yeah, I know. This mic, I had this other mic before that was even worse, that if I tapped the top of it, it would mute. And it had no indication to let me know that it was muted. This mic is a little better, but it has a button on the front of it. But when I grab it and move it, sometimes I accidentally mute it. And it will, it has an X. So I should see that. But sometimes I'm in the middle of a movement. I'm in the middle of I'm rolling and I forget, and I accidentally tap it and it X's out, and then I'm muted. Sometimes it goes for minutes at a time. I don't know how long I was out. Yeah, 2 minutes. Okay, thanks guys. 2 minutes. You were out for 2 minutes. Is he okay? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's funny. You guys can see in the stream here. I always love this in the stream. You guys like trying to warn me. Hey. Yeah. I say, let me go back and see if there are any questions. Spark is the crypto that will shock the entire world. That's pretty good. I get a lot of spam in my comments for crypto. And just as a warning, guys, please don't ever buy a crypto based on a comment in a YouTube video. They are not me either. And, it's really frustrating for me. Let me see if there are any in this thread here. Yeah, someone, I don't see any comment spam for coins in here, but someone mentioned, I said Tangent just got safer, and they're like, oh, it wasn't safe before? Just because they've improved the security doesn't mean it sucked before. It just means it's better. But that's a big thing. That's a big thing in advertising, is new and improved. And, they say every time they come out with a new and improved product, they never apologize for the old crappy product they were selling us before. Let me see. Sometimes they're hard to root out, but let's see if I can catch any of these little guys in here. Yeah, I mean, I can go on and on. I can go in there and delete them, and they just keep popping in here. Yeah, I don't see any. Oh, here's one. Portfolio was 95% BTC, now 35% Grok, 76A $, and 25K profit speaks for itself. I hate these jerks. Right now it's Grok, but there's some other tokens that people just keep spamming my comments, and they'll spam like 25 comments all about Grok, and you would think that any reasonable person would automatically see that it's total spam. Here's another Grok. At least one of my users said it was scam. And it may seem pretty simple for me to flag it and click, spam, but it gets tedious when you have to do it like 25 at a time, and you got to do it like every hour on the hour. It gets really tedious, but what can I do? Anyhow, let's see. I didn't think I missed any questions. I learned so much through your videos. I was so confused when I started using Ledger Wallet and the blockchain. Watching your videos has helped me a lot. Thanks, Eddie. Thank you very much for that, Eddie Rivas. I appreciate that. There have been frame drops, all 3 cameras today. About every minute or two for about 1 to 2 seconds. Audio does not drop. Doggone it. Ugh. I just can't stop. Ever since I got this better camera and better webcams, now I'm having issues. I thought I had tweaked all the issues out, but I guess not. There are settings in Streamlabs desktop. I've got the camera at 120 frames per second. So I'm doing my best to get rid of these frame drops. I apologize. How long was I out? Haven't used those words since my last bachelor party. Yeah, I know. I know when we were kids in high school, we used to hold our breath and have our friends squeeze us from behind until we passed out. We thought that was fun, right? We'd pass out and then we'd wake up and be like, oh, how long was I out? You know, it's like kids. Anyway, last week was perfect. Yeah. So what's going on with this week? I don't get it. I haven't changed anything. I'm using the exact same settings I was using last week. I don't get it. Sunspots. Anyhow. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up. I want to thank everyone for being here and putting up from, I've tried that forbidden words list thing with YouTube. It used to be fairly straightforward. Now it's like in a different spot. I know it's somewhere in my settings where I can say, any spam that contains this word should be automatically deleted, but it doesn't always work right. And they're always coming up with new coins. I don't know. Maybe I should get on that and revisit that. But yeah, it's a pain. These spammers are, a little better at this than I am. And all I can do is just go through and delete as many as I can as time goes by. So I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. I really appreciate all of your support as usual and your patience for when I mute my mic. Let's see, we're going to do this one, right? I think this one worked out. Yeah. So thank you, Kenny, for being here early, and thank you for the news. Thank you, Dan, for moderating and answering a bunch of questions that I got to later. I appreciate you always being here and giving people quick answers to their questions. It's always nice to have you support the channel like the way you do. I really appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you on Tuesday. Thank you, everyone that asked questions. Thank you, everyone that just came in and browsed and listened. Always appreciate having you guys here. And I think that's it. If you enjoyed this live stream, I will do it again every Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join me again for the live stream from Michigan, where you can throw out questions and I'll do my best to get them answered. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, I would appreciate it. When you subscribe, there's a little bell that you can click that will allow you to be alerted whenever I post new content. Once again, thanks for joining me and hope to see you guys again soon. Should be dropping a lot of videos this next week. Let's all keep our fingers crossed on the rate cuts coming up. Well, that won't be till the 17th. So I'll see you again before the rate cut announcements. But that might be a catalyst to another run at all-time highs for Bitcoin and Ethereum. So exciting times, guys. Good to have you here. And everyone have a great week. And spend time with your families. All right. Good night, everybody. I'm going to stop recording.